I get asked all the time, when should I buy a house? Or is now a good time to buy my house? Or is now a good time to sell my house? A lot of those type of questions. And so the three factors that I think go into that for me are one, your financial situation, uh, two, your goals, objectives, timeframes, what you want to accomplish with your life. It's just taking one step higher than just the transaction itself. And three, uh, what about the market, the economy, impacts, things of that nature? Let me explain a little bit more. So, number one, your financial situation. Whenever it comes to buying a house, it's a huge purchase and huge situation. And so we want to understand what is your personal financial situation and what are you going to be able to afford when it comes to buying a house or selling your house or what have you. Your personal financial situation is going to be like your income, your expenses, your tax situation, tax ramifications on potentially selling your home. I had a buddy recently. He's looking at selling his house and was like, "Oh man, the market's going up so much." He actually is now past the exclusion, the tax exclusion on capital gains for a house sale. So he's going to have to pay capital gains taxes whenever he sells his house, if he decides to sell his house. And so we want to understand the tax ramifications. We want to understand what your expenses are. We want to understand what your income is and the predictability of all of those sources. Because whenever you're making a house change, if it's going to have an impact on your ability to save for retirement, ability to save for your kids' college, ability to save for all of these things, we want to understand what that impact is going to be, both within the short term and long term as well, and also be able to play through in our mind what happens if something goes wrong, right? We want to understand what happens if something goes wrong. You got laid off or you got sick or what have you. So when it comes to making any big major financial decisions, of course, we want to understand what your financial situation is. Step one. Step two is what are your stated goals, objectives, thinking high level, where do you see yourself 5, 10, 15, 20 years from now? Is this house purchase, is it going to get you closer to that? Or is this going to be kind of a step along the way? Or is it a final destination? And how does this house purchase rank in your overall priorities when it comes to your goals and objectives? Perhaps you want to be able to start your own business, and so that comes with a good substantial amount of risk. So having a bigger house payment might impact your ability to be able to do that, or perhaps having a larger house payment might impact your ability to retire, or maybe in the inverse is true too, whereas sometimes I have clients that are downsizing and able to now have a house debt free, and that impacts their ability to retire, maybe allows them to retire sooner, for example. So we want to think about what are the main goals and objectives that you're trying to accomplish. What's your ideal state, so to speak, and is this house purchase going to impact that, or your ability to save towards that, or your ability to spend towards that, or what have you. So we want to think about we always want to think about what are your priorities, what are your purpose, what's your plans, and then how does this decision impact that. And the third thing that really I don't think comes into it too much, but we also want to be cognizant of where we are in the world, is what's going on in the economy and the market overall. Now, not really respective to the stock market, but when it comes to the real estate market, it can be very, very local. For instance, I'm here in Winter Garden, Florida, and our market has been very strong for the past couple of years. In fact, if you look at the history within Florida, for the past 20, 25 years has really had a really strong real estate market. That doesn't mean it's always going to be going up though too, right? So we want to understand that there is risk when it comes to any financial decision, and including real estate. And we want to understand, for instance, like right now the Fed has just recently lowered interest rates. They have said that they plan to do that again before the end of the year, and plan to do that into next year. But they're going to be data dependent and can make adjustments. And so we don't know for sure if that's a guarantee or not. That's not guaranteed by them that they're going to for sure lower interest rates. So, yes, we want to pay attention to the market. We want to pay attention to how things are going. But at the end of the day, I think that's probably the least thing to pay attention to. And whether it's a perfect time or not, you're most likely never going to be able to get the timing perfect. And so, really, I think it goes back to what's your financial situation? What are you trying to accomplish? Big picture outside of a house purchase, and does that all line up to be able to make that next step and make that next move. I hope you found that valuable. My name is Kyle. I'm a financial planner here just outside of Orlando, Florida. And I hope you have a great day and take care. We'll talk soon. Thanks.